Hiya, it's Jackie from Jackie Jones Coaching again, and I'm decided I'm going to start trying to do at least one live every day. So I might bore you to death, but I'm just going to do it anyway. I want this group to not just be for clients or people that are interested in seeing a coach or a therapist, but for anybody really. I'm happy to give hints and tips. I'm happy to message anybody back that's got any questions. You can post, you can comment. I want to try and start building up quite a nice little group of like-minded people. So the topic for today is, how do you speak to yourself? What's that inner voice saying? There was a brilliant, I think it was a Dove advert quite a few months ago, it might even be 12 months ago now, where a reporter, an undercover reporter, was talking to women about how they actually feel about themselves. And then later on that day, they were in a cafe and they got two actors to actually say the things out loud to the other person, and they were horrified. I think some of them actually went up to the table and said, you know, how rude are you? You shouldn't say that. It's just your beliefs about that person and you shouldn't say it. But it was actually the words that they'd been using talking to themselves. I'm not good enough, I look crap in this, you know, who the hell do I think I am? What are people going to think? They're going to make fun of me, they're going to, It's just that internal dialogue that goes round and round. And it's stories we make up, often. Often to do with something from our past and our background, or an event or something that's happened. So I kind of understand why we do it, but often we miss the positives. Our thoughts and our inner dialogue affect our emotions, and our emotions affect our behaviour. That's how it works. If we have a thought, there's usually an emotion attached to it. We're human beings, and a lot of the time we function on emotion. And if we function on emotion, it's highly likely that some of us, if not the majority of us, are going to be working on our fight and flight stuff, the anxiety, the stress. Often we're not using our brain to its benefits. We're not using the thinking part. It's based on emotion, which is not good. So if we can start to look at our thoughts and our inner voice and how we actually talk to ourselves, then we can start to make a change. Often with clients that I see, they don't notice the small changes that they're making that actually have a massive impact on them. I tend to, as a matter of course, every sort of 4 weeks, every monthly, I'll just do a recap. We'll just check in over, you know, how's things changed this month. Let's look back. Let's look at what we've covered. Let's look at the changes that you've made. And they're quite shocked when I point out to them what's different, what's changed, how are they thinking, how are they feeling. Those little things can have a massive impact on us, but we don't tend to notice them. I often say that a good therapy session is where change takes happen outside without us working on it. So we might do something slightly different. I don't know if there's somebody that doesn't like travelling very far in the car, and they come back and we're checking in, what have you done next? Oh, I went to Southport. Brilliant. And they just let it go. And I'm like, whoa, hang on a minute. You went to Southport? Last month you were saying that you couldn't go that far and you've done it. You know, what was the change? And it's like, oh yeah, now you come to mention it, it is something new, it is something different. But they've just taken it as a matter of course, which is fantastic because they've not had to work at it. For me, good therapy, good coaching means it doesn't need to be hard work. And sometimes clients find it hard to join the dots up. Because it's something they've always done, the behaviour, the thought pattern, the emotions and everything is just a natural thing for them. But when they come and see a therapist, you know, it can be quite obvious to us what's going on. So yeah, just for today, just take a minute to think about what changes you've made recently. Have you made any? Is there any that you want to make that you haven't done? But just look at the past. Slight little thought differences, little changes, how you're thinking about yourself. If you've gone out and think, oh God, girl, you rock today. This is good. Or it could be a decision at work where normally you'd be hovering at the door, kind of getting a bit antsy and not knowing what to say. You've gone in and you've just said it. The sky's not falling in, nothing bad's happened, it's been brilliant. I want you to soak it in. Just notice the little changes that you've made and how big an impact that is, because making that change then becomes the norm. So you've stepped out of your comfort zone. It might not have been, you know, the best for you at the time, but you've done it. So your comfort zone has kind of got a bit further out. So the next change can happen. Again, it doesn't need to be hard work. Don't overthink things. One of the phrases that I use, not with all clients, because some clients won't take to it. I'm a bit like Marmite. Some people get me and some people don't. But I say to them, stop making shit up. You're making stories up again. You know, if I've got a meeting and I've got to catch the train, oh, it's going to be delayed and I'm going to get there late and I'm going to go in and I'm going to be rushing and I'm going to be yada, 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 yada. It's a story. You're just making it up. You're putting blocks in your own way. Often with therapy, one of the best things that you can do is get out of your own way. Stop overthinking things. Stop the negative thoughts that then lead to negative emotions that can often lead to negative behaviour. Doesn't need to be hard work. So that's my little tip for today. Just take a minute to think about your thought process. The chattering monkeys in your head, whatever you want to call it, what's going on for you, and just slow it down. Just notice it. Don't do anything with it. Just notice it. Notice when you're having those thoughts. And I shall be back tomorrow. If anything comes up my back, I might be back later on today, but I'll definitely be back tomorrow. So take care and have a good Wednesday.